bit of a wet start to my 6 days away on Atauro Island. 5 days of hiking. Hopefully the rain, well, it's been raining all night, and so we'll see what it's like on the island when I get there later this morning. Oh dear. That is the usual ferry to Atauro Island, but it's being maintained under maintenance at the moment, and so the Success is running instead. But today I'm going to catch the dragon boat. So I survived. It was a bit of a rough crossing, but it did get a bit smoother in the second half. I'm very glad to be on dry land now. Walking through the village, it's quite a big place. I think this is the main square with the football pitch and shops. Not sunny, but not as hot as usual. Apparently there's a hot spring here. It's underwater because it's high tide. Been playing tortoise in the hare with these two older locals for the last hour or so as we keep going onto the beach for the views, but it's obviously a bit slower work walking along the beach, and then they catch up with us. Over there in the distance is Indonesia. Plenty of goat on Atauro Island. Pretty good climbers, aren't they? Rather idyllic spot, though even with the clouds it's pretty hot. Just been for a snorkel out of this, it's a rather attractive white sand beach, but the snorkeling was a bit of a non-event. The reef, apparently, I found out when I got out after trying to find it, the reef is very far out here, and there was basically zero visibility in the water, so that was a bit of a shame. I think tomorrow's snorkeling will be better. Apparently the reef is closer and clearer. But at least I've got like a hike up the coastline of Atauro Island this afternoon. So I'm staying in a homestay just off the beach for the night. This is my bedroom. Shower and toilet facilities at the homestay. It's a fairly basic setup, as you can see, but they've got lots of nice family portraits on the wall and some rather impressive stereo gear for parties, no doubt. Slight hiccup, the homestay that I'd made myself at home at was not the correct homestay that we'd been booked in, so I've just been relocated 5 minutes down the road to this homestay, so this will be my bed for the night. My new room with a mosquito net, which is good. Nothing like having a few batteries at your bedside. My actual homestay's bathroom, I was just sitting out with the owner, and the owner of the previous homestay walked past and gave us a bit of a dirty look. Good morning, bon dia. It's about 7:30 in the morning. Just been leaving the homestay after an interesting night. It was quite hot, as you can imagine, with no fans or electricity. And the roosters started about 4:30 in the morning, so that was a bit of an early wake up. But it's another nice, relatively kind of overcast, but that makes it a bit cooler kind of day. And walking along the beautiful beach, looking quite different this time of day. Yesterday was high tide, so couldn't see so much, but now it's low tide, so it's looking quite different, as you can see. So this is a nice way to start the day. This is where the local knowledge is super helpful. Just climbed over the side up at the top of the headland and heading over the top, and also a bit of local knowledge and just really good company. So yeah, it's been quite a great experience so far. coming along this beach. It reminds me quite a lot of Atauro Island, which is the bottom of New Zealand, kind of remote, kind of rugged beach with nobody on it. It's quite a beautiful spot, and it's not too hot, which is a novelty for Timor-Leste. It's definitely still humid, but it's a little bit cloudy and windy, so that's actually quite pleasant. Apparently some investors came out last week to go and look at this land behind to build some tourist facilities, which seems a little bit unlikely because it's quite hard to get to, and it's not particularly sandy beach, but it is a quite awesome spot. One was all easy road walking, day two is not so easy. These rather impressive fences are to keep the goats out from crop growing behind them. This seems pretty standard for the beaches on the west coast of Atauro Island, quite rocky and kind of windswept and quite spectacular, and then on the east coast is the kind of idyllic kind of sandy beaches. This feels like the never-ending beach. Come some way, somewhere more to go. I've forgotten how hard beach walking is. I guess the rain and the headwind isn't helping either. Finally made it along the beach. Took a couple of hours from where I started this morning in the village, and apparently got a couple more hours to go, so I'm just having a bit of a breather. There's a good little spot to have a rest, have some food, and then keep on going. Good thing it is low tide. Unfortunately, there's a huge amount of plastic waste that's washed up all along this beach, all along the west coast, all around most of the beaches, to be honest, around Timor-Leste. Plastic waste is a big problem. Today is such a contrast from yesterday. So yesterday was mainly road walking, kind of sandy beaches. Today is pretty much all beach walking along some quite rocky beaches, but it's quite a spectacular part of the world. My homestay in Adara. This is my bed for the night. Adara is known for excellent snorkeling. There is a reef just off the beach here. Unfortunately, as you can see, it's a little bit rough today, so snorkeling is off. It's one of the downsides of hiking in the wet season, so I'm going to have a bit of a chilled out afternoon in the village and at the homestay. Day 3, walking around Atauro Island. So today is the shortest kind of day of walking, just 45 minutes up the beach to the next village, and then I'll do a bit of exploring around the village for the rest of the day. Had a bit of an eventful night, so I sleep with earplugs, which is kind of essential given the roosters and the noise of the sea, and it's not the quietest of places. Unfortunately, at 3 o'clock in the morning I got a bit carried away pushing one of the earplugs in to try and deaden the sound, and then couldn't get it out again, so I had to fall back asleep again for a few hours. And then over breakfast, luckily they're all fishermen here, so they had some tweezers to extract the earplug, which was quite uncomfortable by that stage, but so I'm quite glad to have fully functioning hearing now. So that's hopefully the day gets better on from here on in. About an hour and 10 minutes it took to walk along there. It was a bit slow because of all the rock pools, but it was quite fascinating to see what's going on. And I was walking along with my guide and one of his mates who's a teacher, so every day his commute to work is walking around this beautiful coastline and then teaching the kids and then walking home. Not bad. So I'm now in Atecru, which is the village we just walked to from Adara. This is a lot more spread out than the other village. Adara was very kind of compact. This just seems to be a lot more space. Lots of nice old buildings, and I think my homestay I'm going to be sleeping in is over there in the thatch building there, so this should be a nice spot to have a restful day. My bed for the night, I'm quite looking forward to this because I get a hut all to myself, so it should be a peaceful night. This is by far the flashiest toilet of the entire hike so far. This is the homestay's goat. This is the first place along the way where there's been power, and solar powered, though I do sort of fear this is just going to be a giant fireball by the time I return. That's where I started the day, further around the coastline there, and I walked in this morning. This is the Tuna Bibi cave. It's just up on the hillside here above the village, and it's quite atmospheric. As you can see, there's lots of swallows flying in and out, and they're on the wall at the back here. There's cave paintings, as you can see in the red on the left and the right there, which are apparently around 8,000 years old. Unfortunately, there was more on the ceiling, but there was maybe about 10 years ago, some fires were lit in here for a religious ceremony, and they kind of burnt the images off. So, but it's still quite an interesting place to visit. I've walked as far along the west coast as you can get. So from tomorrow I have to head inland, up and over, across the island, which I'm looking forward to. This is called the Singing Rock. I think you can see why. It was used to call the villagers together in times past. It's quite amazing though, the whole thing's kind of hollow sounding. It's part of the family farm, fenced off. Quite a rocky place to grow crops. Pretty amazing tree, eh? It's the only shop in the village. It's a very tidy place. All the houses surrounded by crops, corn about to be harvested, and then some quite tidy, quite wide passages between them. Let's finish my morning explore of the village. There is no electricity here other than a bit of solar. They have a bit of running water from piped in from the springs up in the hills, and they have no motorbikes or scooters or cars. It's definitely the wet season. Bon dia, day 4, hiking around Atauro Island in beautiful Timor-Leste. Some of the locals are just off to go and do a bit of farm work. So I'm going to leave the coast behind now. I spent 3 days walking around the coastline of the island as far as it's possible already, and now it's time to head up into the mountains, which is going to be exciting. So just outside the fences of the village, there's a small kind of cave down the bottom there, which has a few human skulls. Apparently they died of starvation in times past. Quite a lot of uphill to look forward to today. Heading up into the hills with this family off to do a bit of farming. Classic Timor hiking. It is 8:30 in the morning. I don't think I have a dry piece of clothing on me. It's quite humid despite the lack of sunshine. Goodbye coast, hello to the mountains. The cicadas here are incredibly loud. There's a cicada. Quite an unusual tree. Apparently they use the leaves for the herbal medicine. Things have changed from the coast. There's some rather large bamboo up here. The local alcohol on Atauro Island is palm wine. So this is a bamboo ladder, so they can access the ingredients. So I've hiked up over 3 hours, about 550 meters from Akrema up to Anartutu, which is a village up in the mountains where I'm going to spend the night. Timorese over the age of 60 are entitled to state housing, which seems to have the same design, because I've seen this identical house in another village. You can hear there is an escola, a school here in village. Bon dia! Diakalai? Diak. It's quite a busy school. Bon dia! Lots of kids. Power lines are installed, but they're not switched on yet, so hopefully in a couple of months there'll be power to this village. To prove my point, here is the same design again. Toilet facilities at the homestay. Shower facilities. This is the village shop. This is the market square. Hopefully we'll return tomorrow, because Wednesday morning is when they have their markets. And then these are the kind of shops around the outside. And then there's the municipal building over there, and the Telemore tower on the hillside. Unfortunately, I'm with Timor Telecom, so no signal for me. This is one of the main roads in Anartutu, with the market just down the end. So there is actually road access to the village, but mainly really in the dry season. And it's a couple of hours from Beloi, which is the main access point onto Atauro Island. There's the medical clinic in the village. Another shop. This is a bit of a bustling metropolis compared to most of the villages I've seen around the island. And the Tutu is on a bit of a grid system, so you get a bit of a feel for different roads leading out. Quite a big place. Day 5 hiking around Atauro Island. The plan for today was to go up Manakoko, which is the highest point on the island, about 999 meters above sea level. Unfortunately, as you might be able to see, there's not a lot of visibility. It's very windy and it has rained all night, absolutely torrential rain. And so there's fallen tree branches. It's still quite windy. And so I think that is not a good idea. It's something to do in the dry season. It's very slippery at the best of times getting up there, so definitely that is off the itinerary. Instead, hopefully the markets here in Anartutu will be working this morning, so I can have a look at the markets, and then hopefully the weather clears slightly, and then I'll just wander down to Villa, have a look around there. That's the kind of, I guess, the capital of Atauro Island, and then return to Beloi. There is a car coming. That's unusual. Just to note, this may not be an entirely accurate representation of Atauro Island during the wet season. Certainly my experience in Dili over the last month has been that the wet season is mostly dry and sunny, but obviously it does rain, and it rains pretty hard. I think this trip to Atauro Island's kind of coincided with a bit of a bad weather front for a few days. But it's fine. It's been a good experience, and it just means I need to come back again later this year and redo it. These are where the markets are held every Wednesday morning. Other than this morning, I think the weather has put a few people off, so maybe they might be out a bit later on. But you can see at the back where they put their things out for sale. First of the stalls being set up, so there's some dragon fruit, some bananas, and some sort of root vegetable there. I expect people are slowly trickling in with their wares to sell. People sell from both their village, and also they walk up from other villages. So like my guide would come up, walk up for 2 to 3 hours to sell dried fish here every week. Traditional weaving from the tree products. So just say goodbye to Jockey, my amazing guide, who's just disappearing into the distance over there. You can see him there. Heading back to Atecru, his home village down on the coast, and I'm going to head down to Villa now, if I don't get lost. I thought, given I started up in the mountains and was heading down to the coast, it'd all be downhill, but instead it seems to be mostly uphill today. So at some point I'll go down, but there's a bit of a hill to climb first. Happy as a pig in mud. This is Timor, so there is no signposting of any paths, and there are a lot of paths, but I've been taking the most well-trod path, so hopefully that is the one that will take me to Villa, and the coast is ahead, so that's looking promising. There is Villa below. I just need to get down the hill to it. I made it down to Villa, the big city here on Atauro, the big village. Just the roads are a bit wider and better maintained. Otherwise it looks much like the others. So I'm just going to take a bit of an explore and see what I can find. First proper guest house I've seen since leaving Beloi 5 days ago. Beloi is a very spread out place. There was a restaurant I wanted to go to for lunch, but it's about 15 minutes walk back towards the end of town. It's a bit of a novelty seeing scooters and big wide roads. I think I prefer the other villages, if I'm honest. Walking along the main road now from Villa into Beloi. Didn't find anything of interest in Villa. And hopefully no way to eat either. It's a pretty spread out kind of place, so hopefully I'll have more luck in Beloi. This walk between Villa and Beloi wins the award for the least interesting stretch of walking of my 5 days on the island. This is rush hour on the main road between Villa and Beloi. I've come full circle. This is the wharf in Beloi where I got off the ferry 5 days ago before I walked around Atauro Island. I've got two kind of pieces of advice. One is don't walk it in the wet season, as this video should have made clear. And the second one is to get a local guide. So my guide Jockey has been fantastic. And there's also Akrema, which is the Atauro Island tourism kind of collective, and they can help organise all sorts of different activities, from kind of the full 5 day village to village trek that I did, down to kind of half day walks, snorkel excursions, various things. So if hopefully this has piqued your interest in Atauro Island, and I'll put some links in the video description for more information.